When a man you like stops chasing you, and I of course mean when he courts you, when he asks you out on a date, when he asks if he can kiss you for the first time, when he wants to see you again, when he loves to be around you, when he texts you and so on, and he stops doing those things, then something went wrong. If he lost interest because the two of you really aren't a good match, and this can be a good thing, but if the both of you are in fact compatible and could potentially have an awesome relationship together, then maybe, just maybe, you were no longer a challenge. When you are a challenge in a romantic relationship, you can create more chemistry than a meth lab. So, we're going to look at being a challenge in some special ways in this video. Being a challenge is a tough subject. Not because it's hard to explain, but because some women generally don't like it when I state, men love a challenge. If you want a man to feel passionate attraction for you for a very long time, be a challenge every now and then. The comments I then get on YouTube range from, why does all of this have to be so hard? I give up, but these are just immature men, and if I want to smother a guy with love and attention and tell him that he completes me, even though it's only our second date, then I must be able to do that because I don't want to play any games. And I get it, I really do. I understand where they are coming from. I don't like it either that a furry bumblebee stings when you try to cuddle it, for example, but sometimes in life it's best to not fight nature or the way things are. And the nature of great guys is that they adore challenges. So if you desire to be with a great guy in a romantic relationship for a very long time, you may have to represent a challenge every now and then. Women who do not represent a challenge have a harder time in their love life, whether they like it or not. Challenge raises your value, and not just in his mind, in your own mind as well. That's what matters here. It can raise your confidence. It does a ton of positive things, by the way. But please keep in mind that I also always say to not play any games in a relationship because they are never needed. And being a challenge isn't one of them. Being a challenge is a side effect. It's never the primary goal. So let's dive in. If you don't know me yet, my real name is Geert. I'm an author. I also use the much more pronounceable pen name Brian Knox. I write books about dating and relationships for women and books about managing our more difficult emotions. And I personally struggled a lot with this concept of challenge in the past. In my own love life at first, but then also when I wanted to explain it to other people. Because at first sight, it doesn't always make sense. But I was missing something important. At first I thought, would I, as a guy, not love it to go to a get-together with friends and friends of friends, so people I don't know yet, and to meet a woman there whose eyes immediately make me wonder, who is she? Wouldn't I love it if she would walk up to me to introduce herself? Wouldn't it be awesome if, without any obstacles or any uncertainty, we would end up at the end of our first date in a car with her sitting next to me, looking at me in a way that makes it all too clear that she's ready for our first kiss? Wouldn't I love it if she would ask me to move in with her after only 3 weeks of nothing but happy dates? If she would tell me that she's really into me? If she would tell me that she loved me? If I really like her and I feel a lot of chemistry, this would be heaven on earth, wouldn't it? Oh yes. It honestly would be. If I'm smitten the very first moment I see her, if my attraction wouldn't have to grow first, all of this would be heaven on earth. But that's the first caveat. Love at first sight on both sides doesn't happen very often in the real world, so in all the other cases a slower pace might be desirable. But this example here is not what being or not being a challenge is about anyway. The woman in this example, my love interest, could have done all of this while still being a challenge. Challenge is lost when we try to overcompensate in a relationship, when we try to please our partner all the time, when we become needy or whiny, when we don't show our boundaries, when we center our life around the other person way too much and way too soon, when we lose ourselves in order to be loved. So I hope you can sense the difference because this is crucial. You can show interest while still being a challenge. You can tell a man, I love you very much, while still representing a challenge. It's pretty simple. As long as you don't fully set aside who you are in order to please him, as long as you communicate your boundaries and so on, you can be open and vulnerable and loving while still being a challenge. And this happens automatically, by the way. No tactical plans or strategies needed, but I'll give you some for fun anyway. One often overlooked way to be a challenge is to challenge him. And a simple example of this is when you tell him, you can do better than this. That's a way of challenging him while also being a challenge yourself. If you have had 2 dates with a man, for example, and he texts you and he asks if he can come over, but it's already after 9 p.m., so it's not to watch Netflix and chill, mostly just to chill. If you would then say, whoa, I think you may live in a different reality because in mine, this is way too soon. So for now, the answer is sleep tight and sweet dreams, and then a smiley face, then you are a challenge. Or by using the word really with a question mark. If you want to show a boundary in a way that also challenges him, just say really with a disapproving but of course still friendly look. Thank you for those flowers. But only 15 roses? Not 25? Really? Just kidding, of course. Or in the bedroom. 20 seconds? I mean, you're done after 20 seconds already? Really? And I of course mean when you have asked him to clean up the bedroom or to give you a shoulder massage, but really can be used in many ways. Now, when you use it, it's important to stop talking afterwards. The guy that sent the after 9 p.m. can I come over text after only 2 dates, if you just text, do you think it's okay to ask that? Really? And then the little pondering face emoji and nothing else, and you go to bed, if he doesn't value you, then this may be the end of the conversation. But if he likes and values you, he will now start to work for it. Oh, no, but I didn't mean it that way, wink, and yada, yada, yada. Question here is this the type of guy you want, of course, because this is a red flag? But this is an example of challenging him to be a better person. And we men, we love this. We need this. Good men don't like it when they can always get their way. They love boundaries and being challenged. Try to remember, when a man feels like he can be and become a better man thanks to having you in his life, why would he ever leave? And if you challenge him, he can grow. He becomes a better man and a better person thanks to both you and the relationship he has with you. Some women may then think, that's cool, but I don't want to have to raise a man. That was his mom's job. And yes, of course it was. If it ever feels like you have to actually raise him or make a lot of changes, he's not the right guy for you. But every good relationship is going to give both parties a lot of opportunities to grow, so to speak. So if a relationship you are in ever becomes unstable, try to ask yourself, is he putting in efforts? If the answer is no, skip the other questions. He may not be worth your attention. We all deserve to be with someone who not only wants a relationship with us, but is also willing to work on it. If he is putting in efforts, am I allowing him to put in the work? Do I give him the space to work for it, to surprise me, to woo me? Have I been overcompensating? Have I been trying too hard? Have I lost myself in this relationship? Have I made him the center of my life? And if so, has he done things to deserve that? Have I made my boundaries and realistic expectations clear and unnegotiable if they are deal breakers? In other words, have I not been a challenge and have I been presenting myself on a silver platter, especially when he didn't deserve it? And if yes, then it may be a good idea to look into that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more insights into the male mind, then you can find them on my website, brianknox.com, or in my books. They can be found on Amazon by typing my pen name, Brian Knox, in the search box over there. I want to thank you for still being here at the very end of this video. I love it when you do that, and I hope to see you in another one.